It is probably the best-known cold case in north central Florida. When Tiffany Sessions went missing nearly 24 years ago, it made national headlines, and she's never been found.
Criminal cases may technically become cold, but until they are resolved to family members, these cases are still so hot they burn. TV 20's Chris Gilmore shows us how science may be the missing link investigators need.
Hello, I'm Jeb Bush. Tiffany Sessions was abducted in Florida and is believed to have been taken out of the state.
But not out of the minds of her parents, who still anxiously await the elusive call or tip that will close the case for good.
I picked it up, and it was Tiffy's roommate, Kathy. And she said, Mrs. Sessions, I think we have a problem. And I said, what's the problem? And she said, well, Tiffy went out for a walk today, like we normally do.
We went out jogging, like she did almost every evening, about 6 o'clock at night, and literally just vanished into thin air.
And she said she hasn't come back. I've called all of her friends. I've already called the police.
The story of the circumstances surrounding the disappearance in 1989 of then 20-year-old UF student Tiffany Sessions has been told over and over again to her parents, but their familiarity with the details hasn't brought them any closer to their daughter. What has is their passion to make sure that this crime doesn't happen to any other parent. I'm here in Tiffany Sessions' room in Valerico, Florida on the eve of her 44th birthday. As you can tell by the things behind me, it's littered still with stuffed animals from when she was a child, as well as newspaper articles, magazine articles, and press releases, all a sign of what's been done in the 24 years since her disappearance. Tiffany's mom has been constantly working on her case, putting into effect such legislation as the Luring and Enticing Act, the Jennifer Kesse Tiffany Sessions Missing Persons Act, and the DNA Upon Arrest Act. Together, they prohibit preying on minors, provide protection to missing adults under the age of 26, and in phases will require DNA to be collected upon felony arrests. Tiffany's case is one of thousands of unsolved mysteries that have been deemed cold. The National Institute of Justice reports that at any given time, there are more than 100,000 active missing persons cases in the United States alone. Jennifer Kesse, Sebastian Oxenius, Omar Gibson, Camry Mitchell, and Lake City John Doe, all victims of murders or kidnappings, their families and law enforcement having to put their stories on the back burner where cold cases wait to warm up.
How could you not? It's your child. I mean, how do you just say one day, I'm not going to do anything anymore? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't spend every day thinking about what happened to Tiffany, and do I believe she's alive? In my brain, I don't, for sure. In my heart, I hope it.
But what money, volunteers, and search parties can achieve, science can't, according to these families.
DNA is changing the way law enforcement does their work.
Partially in thanks to things like the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Database, or NamUs, which has been working towards collecting DNA samples from relatives of victims in hopes of one day finding a match. Hillary Sessions hopes that that match will lead to some long-awaited answers.
It won't get any better until we know what happened to her.
It would mean a lot. It really would. It would mean a lot. It would, as trite as it sounds, it would be some closure.
Closure that both parents and other loved ones have been without for nearly 24 years. Chris Gilmore, TV 20 News.
Both of Tiffany's parents remain active in the investigation efforts to try and find her. Both have authored and co-authored books dealing with missing children.